How's it going, critter people? I hope you all are doing well. I saw this video somewhere in some kind of recommendation. I thought this would be actually a brilliant video to look at. Looking at wolf. This calls the wolf dominance display, but I would say just wolf behavior. Now, we don't know that these wolves are related in any way. They're in captivity, so I don't know what the history is, but we can still look at it as a way of how they interact and how different it is from how dogs interact, because although they have similar ancestors, the dog did not necessarily come from the gray wolf, but from a more ancient ancestor. And so, a lot of canids or canidaes or whatever, wolves, jackals, coyotes, foxes, dogs, Canis lupus is the wolf, or the gray wolf more specifically, and Canis familiaris is the dog. So they came from an ancient ancestor. They're related, but they're not necessarily the same. Also saying they have different behaviors, and because dogs have been domesticated, they don't have the same instincts. They don't need to survive. They cause more damage than, say, a wolf would. With their pack, which would be a family. So I'm not going to call this a pack because I don't know that they are all related. But this will be interesting to see their body language. So this person filming says Awaya is walking behind them. So this, and they get down low. So having humans interacting with other animals that have their hierarchy, we can cause a lot of problems because of our mere presence, because we create comfort, we change the dynamic of, if it's a herd of horses or an actual pack of wolves or just, a group of wolves, or, pride of lions, whatever. We change that so they might feel comfortable behind us, which could cause other animals to want to come in because you are a resource, and then that could cause a fight. So just being aware of what, you're doing when you're around animals like this. So they're all just chilling. I hear someone sniffing. It says Nico Acne sees him scent rolling on me. Okay. So kind of scent marking on. And I'm assuming this one is the one that she's talking about. Okay, so this wolf sees that. They're coming in. So again, because the human was here, they may have caused this other wolf to get a correction. I'm not saying that's necessarily good or bad, but just we have to be aware that, if this wolf were to get hurt behind us, it's because we were there and we caused that interaction. We caused that draw.
Okay.
So this other wolf comes in, They stand up.
No.
With growling. So again, that I think was started because of the human involved. Becoming a resource, creating a draw. When you create a draw, one resource and it's like a magnet, and you have multiple animals, especially predators, they can cause more damage when they have a disagreement. Versus like horses, you can still have, with prey animals, one pile of hay and 14 horses, and they're going to kick and bite and whatnot. They'll have some scratches and maybe some scarring, but they're not going to necessarily cause damage. But the cool thing about this video is we see that the wolves actually don't cause really any damage. They get really loud, but compared to dogs, this would turn out very differently. So they say dominance display. So this one has their tail down, their head down. This one has a tall, stiff tail, and their head is over the shoulders of the other one. So growling. So this one is actually kind of challenging by coming up again. I just think this is just fascinating. Coming up, not entirely giving up, but some lip licks. Low growl. Still kind of standing their ground. There's a little bit of a wag there now. So it means that they might be, their tail went down to kind of half mast. So they might be feeling a little bit, maybe a little bit intimidated, or at least less confidence, I would say. Less confident, because this one is not entirely backing down and going belly up. So very interesting. So now this one has put their head over their shoulder. Short lips, usually this would be, cause for a bite, where a bite is coming. And this one says, I don't think, you're all that tough. So then this one backs up, couple lip licks, head goes down. This one goes to walk away, and this one, tail goes back up, and they say, no, I'm not ready. I want you to stay here. Meaning you didn't submit. I'm not satisfied with that. So this wolf says, you know what? Okay, I'm going to stand my ground. Again, head goes over. They're both just kind of, this one I think is still more assertive than this one, but this one is still kind of, saying, hey, I'm not a punk. And then they go to, so they're trying to, not necessarily walk away. They're kind of walking into this one. This one's backing up. So they're kind of having their little tiff. But if this were between dogs, they already probably would have been tearing each other apart and whatnot. Because for dogs, they don't have to rely on, these guys probably don't have to rely on hunting either, but their instincts still tell them, we can have a disagreement like this and we don't have to be causing, bloodshed, because it's just stupid and it's expensive in a way of, we need to survive, because if we tear each other holes into each other, then we can't go hunt and we'll get infections and we'll be weaker and we'll die. Dogs don't have that need because they don't have those instincts. We've bred it out of them over the last, several thousand years that we've bred it out of them, or just nature in general has just, said, okay, we don't need these genes anymore, so we're going to do this, or these genes will develop and evolve. So that's why dogs actually will get into more trouble and fights than wolves will. And people try to say that they're the same thing. They're not. Okay, so this one backs down. Trying to walk away now, but this one says, no, I'm not ready yet. They kind of move their head out from under them. They're not entirely, being submissive. Now, I think they probably would have been fine. That they could have walked away. This one might be pushing it a little bit, but we'll see. They still feel that this is necessary. Okay, so because this one is not going down, but they are standing their ground, it looks like a little underbite. That's so cute. This one here, we'll just call her Brownie, him or her, just because there's more brown. Brownie is saying, dude, get down. You're not submitting. I'm not satisfied. I don't want to. With wolves, it may be that they appear weaker. I don't know, because they live in this environment that, if they are not related, then they may have that constant hierarchy juggle. But even so, they look aggressive and really nasty, but they're really not. It's all just about stance and spatial pressure. They haven't been tearing into each other, much like dogs are, and like humans like to think that they are. There's no forced alpha rolling here. So still just standing. Okay, so so this one tries to mount because this one's trying to get out of the way. Low growl, lip licks, but still accepting. So that was a form of submission, but not entirely. So then they try to run away, and that causes that. And could this person filming have been blocking that other wolf's way? I don't know, maybe. They also could have been a draw for the other wolf to run behind. So again, humans kind of cause these issues. So again, very loud. But we're going to see, it draws the attention of these other wolves. And it actually looks like Brownie, that might be, it looks like that was the one that was on top earlier, and they might be on the bottom now, but I can't tell. But you see, so this one came over, and this one just looked at them, and they went down. Very submissive. Goes over to kind of the scruff, this, probably one of the younger ones, youngster. This is, okay, I don't want any problems. They just kind of nip him a little bit, and then this one gets on top. So we're going to go back, because I was watching these two. Now we're going to watch these two, so still standing on top, tail kind of wagging. They get off, and then they say, okay, I'm taking charge again. So we're going to go half speed now. Gets over on top. Hides under there. And that's more of like a submissive behavior, but they still go into them and face them. And even through, and then back to the head over the shoulder. And even through all of this, there's no bloodshed. Like they grabbed each other by like the scruff and the fur, but it's really just about body language and stance and standing your ground. And this one that, the younger one that went down on their own, this one that goes down on her own, his or her own, they did that by choice. This other wolf, just walked up to them. They did not physically throw them down like a human thinks they need to like physically alpha roll an animal. They go down by choice. She could have stood her ground, but she said, no, I don't want to fight. And this one took advantage of that and says, okay, you're trying to run away. I was gonna, kind of dominate you, stand over you for a bit, make sure you know. And this one goes to correct and say, no, you're supposed to stay down until I let you up. So then she kind of rolls on her side, and then these two get into it, and this one says, whoa, what's going on? And she takes that as her cue to run. And this one tried to get into it, and this one corrected that one. Anyway, so I can't tell. They could all be males. I have no idea, but either way, I don't know that they are. We got Nico, Wea, Chito, and Woha. So I don't know. They look like they might be males, but either way, just really cool body language here that I thought was just really interesting to look at. So that was just an interesting video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you learned something, maybe point out something that I missed, or your own theories. But I thought this was really cool. So thanks for watching. Go give your little critters some kind of love and say howdy do for me. And until next time, stay positive.